Clutter traps, we all have them at home. If you've ever been to the dentist and the dentist tells you, oh, you always have buildup right there in that tooth. Do you ever notice that when you're eating food, you always get food stuck there? Yeah, that's called a food trap. Well, guess what? Your teeth are like your home. We have clutter traps. Areas where clutter just gathers. No matter how hard you try, it just happens. So in this video, I want to talk through some of the common clutter traps that you might have at home, and we're going to talk about how to deal with them so that they are clutter traps no more. Give this video a thumbs up if you love the idea of a clean, organized, clutter-free home. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. And I wanted to let you know that this video is brought to you by Makers Clean, our sister company where we sell premium microfiber cleaning tools and more. The first clutter trap, the clutter trap that hits you the second you walk in the door, is that front entryway. No matter if you live in a 450 square foot condo or if you live in a 4,000 square foot home, the second someone sets foot inside the space, they're gonna need to put bags down, take coats off, take shoes off, put the mail somewhere, put the keys somewhere. You see where I'm going with all of this. And very quickly, clutter can build up. And if you go to the front entryway of your home, ask yourself, is this a clutter trap? Are there areas where things are building up? And if so, this is an area you need to work on. So let's talk through the three main issues that you're gonna see in the front hall: bags, shoes, and coats. Bags can contain all kinds of things, whether it's groceries or lunch or stuff from the day, school bags. We need a system for the bags. If they are reusable grocery bags, you need to have a home, a storage space for those. So it might be an area in your laundry room or in your kitchen or even your car trunk, but rethink the system so that they are no longer coming in and sitting there. For school bags, maybe you need hooks, or maybe your kids have to take them up to their bedrooms. Again, rethink the strategy so that they are not just stopping at the front door. When it comes to purses, perhaps again, you need a table or a hook or a small spot that your purse or bag or work bag can live. Because if you don't have a home for something, it just goes rogue and it ends up looking like clutter. Now for your coats, if you have a front hall closet, push yourself to do that last 1% and hang your coat up. This is something that my mom would scream at me about for many years growing up, and it never worked when I was at home, but now as an adult, yeah, I hang up my coat. Another way you can get around this is by putting coat hooks up in your front entryway. That way, at least they're not being chucked on the floor. You can also get a coat tree. I love this idea. It makes it easy and it's kind of guilt-free. It's not the most organized thing in the world, but it's still somewhere to place coats and bags so that the space doesn't look disorganized. And then there are shoes. If there are too many shoes cluttering up the front entryway, it means that you have to rethink the shoe situation. Whether it means you have to get boot trays or a proper rug at your front door, whether it means the rule is you can only have one pair of shoes at the front door, or all of your shoes have to relocate to the closet, or each person can only have 3 pairs of shoes up here and then everything else has to go into an alternative storage space like a rack in the basement or your bedroom or the garage. Whatever it is, just take a minute to reframe the shoe conversation in the front hall so that your front entryway doesn't get overwhelmed with shoes anymore. Let's talk about the bedroom. Yeah, we're not going there, but the type of clutter we deal with the most is clothing. And there are 3 different piles we can put the clothing into: clean clothes that haven't been put away, clothes that are in purgatory, they've been worn once, but they're not quite dirty enough to go in the laundry yet, and then of course the dirty clothes, which usually end up on the floor. So all of this creates a big melia of messy clothes all over the bedroom. So let's talk through some systems. First, laundry. Let's just take a minute to acknowledge what a pain it is to have to already go through the pain of doing your laundry, moving it from the washer to the dryer, but then folding it and then putting it away. Who invented this system? I know it's ridiculous. We can all acknowledge that. But if your clothes aren't put away, you're essentially living out of a laundry basket and it is chaotic. It's really hard to get dressed like that. So there's this concept that I've talked about for many years. It's called Ohio, only handle it once, not the state. But what Ohio really means is that you see a task through to the very end. So once you take your laundry out of the dryer, make sure it's folded, make sure it's put away. I know it's simple advice, but this prevents that issue of clean clothes sitting in a laundry basket just waiting to be put away. Just do it. Then let's talk about the purgatory clothing, the stuff that maybe you wear for a couple of hours and then you take it off, you put it on the chair, you put it on a ledge, you put it on the edge of the bed, the bench. There's that special little spot that only you know about where those clothes end up. And you know what? It ends up looking cluttered. So if you're gonna wear it again, just hang it up. Just fold it and put it away. And then let's talk about the dirty clothes that end up on the floor. This, I must admit, is one of my worst habits. I love the idea of just taking off my clothes and throwing them on the floor because in my mind there's an imaginary house elf that's gonna just go and pick them up and put them in the dirty laundry. I have yet to meet that individual. It hasn't happened yet. So now what I do is I take my clothes off, and when I'm really feeling in the zone, I just pick them up and I walk them right over to my tri-sorter. And that tri-sorter has been a game changer for me. I've had it for years and it really helps me with that struggle of wanting to throw clothes on the floor and leaving them there. The kitchen has several clutter traps. You've got your food. So the fridge, the freezer, oh my God, the freezer, major clutter trap. The fridge, we're talking about leftovers, expired foods, vegetables that are clearly not going to be eaten that we just need to admit and throw out. Then we've also got food in the pantry that's expired, or you felt like you wanted to make Mexican food one night and went all out and bought tomatillos and then you chickened out. Like, get rid of the tomatillos. You're not going to use them, okay? And if you have expired food, you got to get rid of that as well because it's just taking up space. But the clutter that really gets to me in the kitchen is the stuff that builds up on the counter. You know, that friendly stuff that comes in through the mail, the forms from school, the parking tickets, you know, the little pieces of paper that you're like, I'm gonna put them in the kitchen because it's the central space in the home and this is where we deal with all the things. And then what ends up happening is that pile just gets higher. And just tell yourself, there's a pile of clutter here because I have let it get that way. And in order for it to not look like this, I have to change the way I'm doing things. So face the pile, deal with whatever is there, and then your approach going forward is going to be Ohio. So if you get the parking ticket, pay the parking ticket. If you have mail, deal with the mail. If you don't like getting paper, then go online and change it so that you only get online statements. This has been a big game changer for me as well, because then what I can do is download it, save it in a Dropbox folder, and I don't have to worry about processing paper. And once you're done with your mail, have a paper shredder so that you don't have to look at that stuff sitting there anymore. Another special little clutter trap that exists in just about every kitchen is the junk drawer, and I talk extensively in general, but I talk extensively about the junk drawer in a video, and I'm gonna link that for you down below because I have renamed, I have made over, glowed up the junk drawer. It is now called the utility drawer because if it's called the junk drawer, it just attracts what it's called, junk. But if we call it the utility drawer, it attracts useful things. So you can check that video out down below. In the bathroom, the biggest clutter trap are those drawers and cupboards, but even the counter space where we put the products that we ordered or bought because we thought that product was going to solve all of our problems. And then we tried it and then we realized that it wasn't true. But it sits there because we spent a lot of money on it and we feel guilty, so we don't want to get rid of it, and it kind of looks nice. But this ends up being clutter. The other clutter that I notice are free samples. And I came up with this saying a while ago, free samples aren't free because we have to find somewhere to put them. So if you're gonna take a free sample, then make an agreement with yourself that you're actually gonna use that free sample like within a week. And if you don't use it, throw it in the garbage. I was just decluttering my bathroom and I found free samples of skincare products that expired in 2014. So do yourself a favor, when you're in the bathroom, go through, look at the products that you use every day, keep those. Find a lovely way to organize them. But if there are products that you tried and you know you're not going to use, or products that you've kept on your counter or in your drawer and have expired, those are the ones that you need to get rid of. If there are products that you've purchased and you know that they're just not working for you, find someone to give them to who will like them. I often do this with my friends. Like I'll just take a picture of something and I'll say, does anyone want this hair serum? Or does anybody want this blah, blah, blah? Someone's willing to take it and it doesn't have to clutter up my bathroom anymore. Next up, a space you might not spend too much time in, but it's a garage or a shed. Those areas that you use for storage of things that only occasionally need to be used or seasonally need to be used. Further to that, it's usually a way station before things get to the garbage or recycling or the front of the curb. I especially love having a spot in my garage because I live in an area where there's snow, and there's nothing I dislike more than getting up at 6 in the morning and having to brush snow off my car. So if there's boxes and garbage bags and rakes and ladders and things that are just taking up space in the garage, I don't have that spot. And that doesn't work for me. So the garage, the shed, that can be a real clutter trap. It's important to go in and make sure that that area is cleared out so it can be functional and actually serve its purpose. So what this looks like is going in and examining, do I have old tires that I'm no longer using, or garden tools, or backyard furniture, or toys that no longer serve me? Get rid of those. This is a decluttering job. And then when it comes to the garage, if you have big bags of garbage or chunks of styrofoam that you need to get rid of, or boxes that have to go to the curb but haven't been broken down yet, get some good gloves from the dollar store, a box cutter, and some string, and start cutting up those boxes so that the next day you have recycling. You can easily take that cardboard to the curb so you don't have to deal with it anymore. It's one of those jobs that I will totally validate you is super annoying to have to do, but once it's done, it's off your plate, and having that space be functional and not a clutter trap feels so good. It just makes your house work better. These are some of the, let's call them less obvious clutter traps around the house. There are plenty more, and I would love to know in the comments down below, what is a clutter trap for you at home? It could be something as small as a drawer or something as big as an entire basement or attic. Let me know where you see the most clutter build up. For me, I must say the basement is the easiest place to put things I don't want to deal with right now. That gets cluttered and I hate having to deal with it. If you love what we do here at Clean My Space, consider becoming one of our members. And once you've dealt with those clutter traps and you want to make your house look even more beautiful, I compiled 12 secrets from homestayers to make your house look beautiful in a snap. You can check that video out right over here. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.